The Blob, known as Blob, made his debut in Blob when it landed on the Wii in 2008, introducing the world to a funky new hero whose ability to absorb color and spread it around was put to great use in his debut platformer. Now, Blob is back, but while fostering political revolution through paint is as enjoyable as ever, a nasty tendency to punish players severely for failure and a few other issues prevent this outing from being as fresh and fun as the first. In the first game, Blob overthrew the evil Comrade Black and kicked him out of Chroma City. But hatred and poor taste in civic design are not so easily defeated, and Comrade Black has started building a new regime in Prisma City. Blob once again sets out to bring color back to those who find themselves under Black's colorless rule. As in the first game, the story is told through a series of great cutscenes that mix humor and seriousness in their portrayal of political oppression in this cartoon world. Blob 2 has serious issues on its mind, but the game's joyful visuals and sound ensure that they never overwhelm the experience. Blob's weapon in the battle against oppression is color. The once vibrant buildings and people of Prisma City have all become dull under Comrade Black's rule. As Blob, your goals involve traveling around the levels, restoring color to the buildings and citizens. Once he's absorbed some paint, color flows naturally from Blob. Just touching a building is enough to coat the entire surface, and just tapping a billboard can change it from a bland piece of political propaganda into a colorful celebration of people power. Seeing color and life return to the environments thanks to your actions is gratifying, and it's made all the more rewarding by the way the music gradually becomes more lively too. As the world becomes more colorful, the music builds up, starting as little more than a groovy beat, and eventually exploding into a full-bodied, funky tune. Restoring color to this world just feels good. Unfortunately, the level design is sometimes too repetitive to stay enjoyable. Each of the 12 levels are frequently broken up by side-scrolling sections, which means that you're never doing the same thing for too long. But many of these sections are too simple and too similar to each other to be very engaging. Later in the game, some elements are introduced that make these side-scrolling sections a bit more varied, such as switches that reverse the pull of gravity, and a power-up that makes Blob metallic and lets you roll up and down the magnetized rear walls of certain sections. But it takes a bit too long for these elements to be introduced, and when they are, they're not used frequently enough to shake off a feeling of sameness that many of these sections have throughout the game. Combat is simple, but mostly enjoyable. By targeting them, Blob can stomp out or charge through just about anything the Inkies throw at him. Most groups of enemies can be stomped out by just holding down the targeting trigger and mashing on the jump button until the Inkies are no more. Unfortunately, when there is any whiff of challenge in combat, it often stems more from the controls than from anything your enemies are doing. The problem comes from the fact that Blob isn't smart about what he targets. You can cycle through targets, but when you've got enemies on all sides of you, selecting the enemies you wish to stomp can be a bit tricky, and focusing on cycling through enemies until your desired target is selected can leave you vulnerable to attack. Blob 2 isn't exactly a hard game, but it can still be a frustrating one, because when you do fail, the punishment is often severe. Checkpoints are often spaced far apart, forcing you to repeat hefty chunks of a level when you run out of lives. And you start from your last checkpoint in exactly the same condition in which you triggered it. So if you don't have enough time left on the clock to complete the level, you need to restart the whole thing. Blob 2 has great moments, when the music and the visuals and gameplay all come together to create a sense of pure joy. These high points make the frustrations all the more disappointing. There are times when you experience the great game that Blob 2 almost was. Nobody ever said starting a revolution would be easy, but Blob 2 substitutes a punishing mean streak for a satisfying challenge. You may be able to overlook these issues and still find the joy to be had in restoring color to the places and people of Prisma City, but not all your memories of this game will be groovy ones.